What's up, MourN here, back for day 3 of Night of Ashes. Today's boss is the Abyss Demon. So let's go over his skills. His basic attack deals damage equal to 100% of the attack to the default enemy. Default enemy, they changed some wording in the game. I noticed with the last update. The default enemy is the slot 1. Deals damage equal to 280% of attack to front row enemies and reduces their healing received by 30% for 2 rounds. Passive skill 2. When attacked, there is a 20% chance to counterattack the target, dealing damage equal to 200% of the attack. If the counterattack target is in the front row, reduces their healing received by 5% for the rest of the battle. In the back row, increases their crit by 100% for 1 round. And the last passive, at the end of each round, increases self attack by 250 until the end of battle. I did my initial attack and I made a mistake. I put Margaret in the back row because I kind of counted on the additional counterattack and, his counterattack giving the additional crit being a big damage boost, and it really wasn't. Margaret needs to go in the front row versus this guy. I didn't do bad damage, and with my base team, I did 6.8 million. That's good enough for 4th. But we're going to try to top that. I'm going to run it back with my base team, and I'm going to move Margaret to the front row. I actually think I'm going to put her in slot 1 because the damage wasn't very high despite it reduces damage received, and it seemed like Matthew was more than capable of keeping the team alive, and I actually don't think I need him. So we're going to try out later Berea and Cynthia to see how that reflect damage will work on this boss. All right. My gearing is what it always is. It's hard to get new gear. I still don't have a full 8-star warrior set, but let's put her slot 1 and put Lee in the back. Lee's here as usual to just buff damage on the boss. Let's see how this works and see if we can get more damage. As per the last video, I'm going to run the first battle through its entirety, and then I'm going to speed up the other battles and just show the damage and talk about the numbers. The damage, the healing received stacks up actually pretty quickly, but Matthew can purify that debuff at the end of a round. We're at round 6, and he just finally procced Margaret's burn dot passive. He really doesn't do a lot of damage. So for 100% certain, Matthew is not necessary in this battle. Very low damage and Margaret actually makes a lot of sense in slot 1. He doesn't seem to do a lot of damage. Even on his last active, it was only 64,000. That's relatively small. Oh, he killed her in the final round. But I did increase my damage by a lot. And Sylvia didn't do bad damage. I'm pleasantly surprised that her damage increased also. Margaret's damage was more than double of my initial attack. Okay, now we're going to switch some things around, and I'm going to take out Sylvia, and I'm going to put in Berea. Sorry, when I see the little gold things up, it really, really bothers me. All right, we will reset Morgana and Michelle, and I'm not going to reset Musashi. I'm going to try Musashi one more time to give him a chance. But right now, Musashi's damage has been underwhelming. Berea, activate. Let's take him to +10. Oh, I'm short. Hold on, who else can I reset? And I'm going to give Berea Sylvia's equipment. And it works out well because their equipment can play off each other. The only difference is Berea's is a little more stat intense. He needs hit points on the 2 offensive pieces of armor, and he needs attack on the 2 defensive to optimize him. But it's not that big of a deal. The boss was fairly easy. So I still managed an 89% block rate, and by 3 rounds in, he's going to get an additional, I think, 36%. Once I get this artifact up, we're just going to go ahead and reset Musashi. I would like to try him again, but I don't think he's necessary because I just have not been impressed with his abilities. Berea, enhance 1 more. Fortitude block. Oh, that's good. Not as good. We must have had block before. But that's fine. I am also going to give Cynthia a shot because Cynthia also reflects. And she'll take the place of Matthew because I don't think Matthew's needed for this battle. And we will give her Matthew's gear. There he is. All right, so let's go back into the boss, and we're still going to have the aura, because the aura is very important. We're going to keep Margaret in slot 1 and put Berea in slot 2. I think this will be fine. All right. Okay, so we did increase our damage, and Margaret in slot 1 is definitely useful, but Berea's biggest ability is he reflects damage. And if you have a boss that's only hitting 1, it's not surprising he did a little bit less than Sylvia. I was kind of anticipating more damage from Cynthia, so I'm going to reset her, and I'm going to give Cilia another shot, just because I don't have an Alistair built up enough to do any significant amount of damage. And Genji, as usual, is just a solid damage dealer to bosses. You don't have to put him in harm's way. He just does what he does. There's no stopping it. He doesn't need to be where Margaret. If you take Margaret out of the first slot and she's not taking that continuous sustained damage to put stacks on, she's really not doing too much damage. Genji, you can put him anywhere and he's going to hit nearly 3 million. Before I make this decision, let's see who else I have in Ocean. We're going to throw in an A3 Vesa just because I want to see how she does. I really like Vesa, and I think late game she's going to be very good, as well as Cassandra. Cassandra, though, I have not gotten a whole lot of copies of. So let's go ahead and reset Berea. And another thing to point out about Berea is he does better in campaign. I know this for certain against bosses because the boss's damage doesn't, like, this boss wasn't doing a lot of damage. In campaign, you'll have bosses doing like 100,000 damage and he's reflecting 70% of it. There's no cap to his damage reflection. Go ahead and get her plus 10. And after this, I'm going to test out Natalie to see how she does. She should have a good chance because this boss is weak to Ocean heroes. We're going to put the healing ore on Vesa because Vesa does have a little bit of healing. It's not as much as Matthew, a hero like that, but it should be enough to sustain that nobody's going to die. All right, Cilia, it's redemption time. And the Undying Ore does not do very well on her. It's not something meant for her. So I'm going to switch with Lee and take the Eternal Energy. And then I will give Lee the Undying and put him in the front row. I would like to reset some more heroes and try a 4-1 split with Margaret, or I might be able to actually do three Ocean heroes. The problem is Lee is necessary. Okay, so there's some RNG obviously involved in this. As you see, Margaret did about 500,000 damage less than last time. I do like the combination with Vesa because Vesa was lowering the target's armor. And that was boosting Genji and Margaret's total damage. Cilia, I'm very disappointed in the performance of Cilia. I thought she would be better. I know she has a factional disadvantage against this particular boss, but it shouldn't. She had the advantage yesterday and she didn't do very well. So it's very disappointing to see where she stands. How many more attacks do I got? All right. I have one more attack. Let's see who we're going to use. I like Alistair, but I don't think against this boss he's ever going to have higher attack than the boss does. Let's give Marcia a go. And we'll try Marcia. And I think I want to keep Vesa in. I like what Vesa did. Let's check Natalie first. Let's go pure. Actually, do I have gearing for this? Yeah, I do. All right. We're going to keep Vesa. We're going to switch to Natalie. And we're going to keep Cilia in. No, I'm sorry, and switch to Marcia and see how they do. This is just a pure damage team to see if it makes a difference, how much you actually need buffing heroes at this point. I'm going to put the crit ore on Natalie because she's more of a damage dealer. And we'll just run with what she has. And I'm going to put Natalie in the back row out of fear that she's going to die. Okay, so here is a straight damage dealing team versus the boss. And this is a good test to see if Marcia is better than Cilia or not. I think late game, Marcia probably will do more damage once you hit that plus 30 artifact as mentioned before. But now, I'm not so certain. And plus 30 artifact is a lot of resource investment. Okay, so there we have it. Natalie actually increased the damage quite a bit compared to Berea, and only a little bit more than Sylvia. So she probably wasn't actually necessary, and Marcia didn't do more damage. However, I went a full attack lineup, and I didn't have a good ore to use on Marcia. I was using a healing ore, and she doesn't need that. She needs something to boost her attack. It's good enough for first, and I'm under 9 million damage. That's not bad. Lee in these boss fights is definitely needed because he really ramps the damage up. And as you see, Margaret and Genji are just on a whole different level compared to other heroes when it comes to damage versus bosses. Well, that concludes today's video. I'm going to try to post a gear guide because some people on Discord brought some things to my attention that I think the community should know. If you like what you see, like and subscribe. Our Discord's in the link and it's growing pretty quickly. Thank you and have a great day.